Well, good afternoon. I know this isn't what we said we were gonna do. I'll explain all of that in a minute. But the truck needs a little tinkering, my brother's truck. So I'm gonna teach him how to use a vacuum gauge, because like me, he hadn't used one before either, until, you know, I haven't until recently. I'm gonna show him how to do it. And then we're going to go ahead and time it with our fancy, new to me, laser tag gun. Anyways, as I was saying, we're gonna go ahead and time this as well, because that has not been done yet either. So we have everything hooked up. I'm gonna have him fire up the truck, and then we're gonna start adjusting. We just have, so far we have the idle turned up a little, and the mixture screws turned one out, which is where you're supposed to be, and that's it. So give me just a second here, and we'll get this thing fired up. All right, we're ready to fire up. Lee, go ahead. Go ahead and give it a little gas and see if you can get it to run. All right, so hold on. We're gonna bring out the mixture. What? Yeah, just hold on, Lee. Yes, Aaron, thank you. We're gonna bring the mixture out a half a turn, because we're way off right now, obviously. And in fact, I'm gonna turn the idle up a little bit, because when I reset these, there was a few things that were a little out of whack. All right, go ahead and try that. That's much better. All right, so before I do any more, I want to time it first, and then we'll tune the carb. I can't even read the numbers. That seems like it's slow to me. That sounds a lot healthier. So what you want to do with this when you start fine tuning, is you want to find the highest number.
It's supposed to be flat right there.
It's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay.
So you want to find your highest number. So as you're adjusting these, watch. Whatever the highest number you can get out of it, then you bring the screws back just a little bit until it starts to drop. And then you turn it back about 1/8 of a turn or so. So you're getting it right on the very edge of the highest number that you can get. So, and you can do these one at a time. So like if we turn it in, it's probably gonna drop.
Yep.
Yeah, you're all the way down to 14, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully we can get it to about 15, or just over. So if we do it another 1/4 of a turn, perfect, now we're just above 15. See how it's kind of tickling 16?
Yeah.
We're gonna leave that one there and do this one next.
Okay.
Nearly at 16.5.
Almost 17.
Yep. If it starts to drop again, then you went too high. I am thinking it's gonna be right at about 17. Because we're about probably 1.5, well, we're 2 out now, which is usually right where it wants to be.
Yeah.
There's another 1/4 turn, and you can hear it, the RPM still increasing a little.
Yeah.
So we're there basically right at 17.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're back down to about 17. Okay, so now that we've got the idle more where we want it, then we can continue tuning this.
Okay.
We're right back down to 16.5.
Okay.
I think that's really, really close.
Okay.
Now we're hovering right at 17 now that we're evening out.
They want the highest number you can get.
Yep. So go ahead and give it a couple of blips with the pedal and see how responsive it feels.
Okay.
That's pretty good. I think we're pretty well there. I'm gonna go get some brake clean and try to clean off this harmonic balancer so we can attempt to read some numbers. We have a minor fuel leak underneath.
Just switch to the other tank.
Huh?
I just switched to the other tank.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably a crossover line. All right, go ahead and kill it for a second if you want. Let me see, Miss Mo. Oh, that's an icky guy, baby. Daddy needs to throw that one away, okay? All right, let's try to clean off this harmonic balancer so we can see what we're looking at.
No, that's not on the...
Okay. All right, go ahead and restart it. I want to see if I can read anything now.
Okay.
Well, to be honest, I still can't see the mark, and there's not really a good way to clean that off very well. But I know by looking at it, it's basically exactly the same position as the truck and the Suburban, so we should be just fine. We should be about 32, 34, somewhere like that. So I'd say a little bit conservative, but I think that's good. I'm gonna have him test drive it, and we'll let you know how it feels when he gets back.
And I'm just like a fuel issues.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't even want to think about dropping the tank on this.
It's rolling whenever you're ready to start.
Oh, okay.
All right, so he just got back, and it's doing a lot better, he says.
Yeah, it runs actually smoother, which is surprising because it was running very smooth before.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels a little peppier on the takeoff. I wasn't able to get onto it much, but I definitely think it picked up a bit.
We're still battling
feels like
fuel. Yeah. We got a fuel leak somewhere in between the cross tanks and a minor vapor leak at the pump, so trying not to, you know,
Get on it too much.
don't really want to blow up at the moment. But it is running significantly better. It starts way easier.
It does start easier, yeah.
Even with the choke, him and my dad have messed with the choke a whole bunch of times trying to get it dialed in, and it still takes, you know, 3 or 4 times and a fair amount of pumping to get it to catch up. So it is starting easier, it's smoother, it's yeah, it's doing good. So we're going to move on to the Mustang and start trying to prep that piece of a floor. And once we move over there and get set up, then I'll explain to you why there's not a new car in the driveway, why you're not with me while we're towing a new car home, and why we're not working on a Bronco. I'm not happy about it either. I'll tell you about it. Well, come join me in the darkness. I'm just gonna hold the microphone for now because, mainly just because. So we're in here, because I cannot get a moment's peace out there. Downside of living in town, you got a bunch of cookie cutter houses that, you know, share borders and the rest, and you know, I can't talk to the camera when everybody else is trying to talk to me, so we're gonna sit in here. Oh yeah, I need to tell you why we're not working on a Bronco or towing a car home. Basically, the short story is I did go work on the Bronco. They had to leave unexpectedly, and I had to work a couple of hours later than I usually do on Saturdays, which really messed up the amount of time that I could be there. So I wasn't able to get a ton of work done, and with them having to leave, I was only there for a couple of hours, basically taking stock of what we got and making a list of pieces that we still need, because as we all do, you order a bunch of parts not thinking about how things need to fit together, and the fact that you're missing half your parts. So that's kind of where we're at with the Bronco. And the reason that there's not a car on the trailer is because, like I had started to say, I think, or mentioned last video, he's over an hour from me. There's no point in towing a car home with no fenders on it an hour back. You know, it cost me $60 in gas in my truck with a very sketchy tow dolly just to keep it here for a week, turn right around, and then take it back in the middle of a work day. So I'd have to take time off and all the rest. It just doesn't make sense. So we're just leaving it at his house for now. I think his next appointment is the 13th, I believe. So possibly next Monday. I'm going to try to be home by Sunday night, back from Monroe, the swap meet. If we get back Sunday night, then in theory, I think I can go get it Monday, because that should be like the 18th. So if everything checks out, you know, that's the main thing. That being said, it is very late tonight. I'm going to try to hit this tomorrow. This is kind of a short weekend for me. So that's where we're at. That's what we're aiming for. I will catch back up with you guys tomorrow. All right. I will see you all. Leg already went to sleep that fast. I'll see you all tomorrow. Where's the... There. I'll see you tomorrow. Sheesh. Alright guys, well, welcome back to another day. As you can see, we're not welding yet. But I went ahead and re-cleaned all this up. It's starting to flash on me pretty bad, and I'm tired of continually re-scrubbing it. So I'm just going to paint everything that is exposed. And then I'll show you what else we've done. I did get a lot of stuff cut and ground out of the way on the front, so we should be ready to start test fitting and hopefully tack in that piece here in just a few minutes after we're done with this. I'm just tired of watching it rust. Fumigating myself in here. Just paint right over the rust. That's fine. No one will ever notice. Looking better already. Now I did prep this properly, so don't judge me too harshly. That one I forgot to hit with the wire wheel, so we'll leave it for the moment. I discovered a hole in the roof too, which is pretty cool. It goes all the way through, I can see daylight. Nothing I enjoy more than spray painting. Besides welding, I do love welding. At least when I want to do it and I don't have to do it. It's looking not bad. Not bad at all. This is what I'm doing here. Gonna go ahead and continue painting this rocker here. Trying to preserve it. Once again, I have a lot of company out here with me, so I'm trying not to talk really loud, and because every time it's obvious that I'm filming, everybody wants to tell me 10,000 things and try to be a part of it, and you know, that's fine, but I'm trying to get something done right now. Now, I know I'm going to paint this, and actually nobody's going to care because, well, you know, basically the only reason I'm painting this raw panel here is because I've already stripped it completely with the wire wheel in every single place I could reach over and over, and then I hit it with rust buster, and then I cleaned it, so it should be fine. I just don't want it raw. I'm just going to slow it down a little. This is supposed to stop rust, this paint. It doesn't, but it's supposed to. Sure, just paint my pedals too, that's fine. There. Now we should have sealed the rest in there really good, so it'll be sure to go down instead of up. Okay. Let me get. I have to go all the way out and back around, and then I'll show you here in just a second once this kind of flash dries on us. We should be able to slip that in and start tacking. While I wait for it to dry, I'm gonna go pre-drill some holes in it. Sure, you can watch me do that. Alright, let's see here. We'll take this with us and drill a couple of more for the seat support because I want to weld to that, obviously. Or at least you're supposed to. And this pan is actually drilling much easier than I expected it would. Well, I forgot that we still had to paint that, because, or at least the bottom side anyways, before we stick it in. Otherwise, when we're laying on our back spray painting this close to our faces, and we're gonna have a nice makeup job afterwards. So now I have to grab a vacuum all the crud out of the bottom of this frame rail, and then after that we should be good to install this thing. So give me just a moment, and hopefully we'll be test fitting here in just a second. Well, after much deliberation and struggle, I'm disappointed, and you will be too. And it really sucks because this is Monday and I have to end the video because obviously I have to go to work tomorrow. So something didn't really register. Well, first let me show you the good news, and then I'll show you the not so good news. And I know that none of you were screaming at me because nobody commented. So, first of all, it's beautiful. Had to rebend this because it was clear out here, like, you know, most of the bends on these new pans. But I've got it fitting just as snug as a, ouch. Just as snug as a bug. The unfortunate thing is that, like I said, just for whatever reason didn't fully register until I was getting ready to fire up the welder and actually snap this thing in, or buzz it in. Remember this piece that we talked about before? Well, the downward lip that I just showed you on that other pan either sits on the inside of this lip or it rides on top. So I started looking at this closer. This is definitely you can see I was working on it there, a split deal, which means I believe it does have to come out for sure in order for this pan to sit properly. Plus, once I was drilling these holes, I was kind of looking at this going, something's not right. So this whole chunk has to come out. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, I could slap it over the top and weld it like what we were originally thinking and planning, but if I do that, the more I think about it, the more that's not going to be correct, because this is already somewhat rusty, and if I weld that plate over the top of it, this edge is going to look funky, and this will continue rusting. Not to mention the fact that, oh, where was I going with that? Oh, without this bottom floor in, or once it's in, I'm never going to be able to access this again properly without hacking the entire thing apart. The only thing that I'm thinking right now is that eventually this car is going to need new frame rails in the front, and it's going to need a whole rebuild, so maybe at some point, a couple of years down the road, I can pull the engine back out and the fenders and the hood, blow this thing all the way apart, and I could theoretically come back and take this back out later, which, the more I'm talking about it, the more it seems like the thing to do, because I just need this thing to run, and this is going to take me probably a whole nother day. Oops, sorry. Whole nother day to pull that out, with all the bends and quirks and stuff. And it's really not that rusty, and I did rust treat it. You know what, I bet I could, I could do this. I could take my cutoff wheel and, my goodness, why is this thing flopping around so bad? I could take my cutoff wheel and just zip this line, or this crease right there, off, and then the other piece would sit down in there and it would sit flat. We might do that. We might just do that. I don't want to take a whole nother day. I mean, this piece of floor has already taken me 2 weeks. Now, granted, I've had 2 extremely interrupted weekends, but theoretically we could do that. Either way, I'm going to end the video out here. It is currently kids' bedtime, and I have not eaten dinner. I'm getting pretty hungry, I'll tell you. So, yeah, I'm going to end it out here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know we didn't do a lot. It's going to be a very short video. I'll keep you posted, and we should be able to get this knocked out by next week. Then the following weekend, we're in Monroe. And the following weekend, hopefully, we'll be going to pick up a new project. See you next week.